All right, good morning, pottery students. So the next project we're going to move into is called Mishima or Sgraffito tiles. So I'm going to run through the PowerPoint here with you that I would normally show you in class so that you guys can get started on your ideas and your sketches. And when we get back in the classroom, we can just dive on in and move forward with our projects. All right, so here we go. Mishima pottery comes from the Japanese island of Mishima, originally from Korea around the 16th century. So it's a way of drawing by inlaying a slip of contrasting color into lines incised in leather hard clay, so it's partially dried out. Whereas sgraffito is applying successive layers of contrasting slip to an unrefined ceramic body and then scratching so as to produce an outline drawing. That's what most people do. That doesn't make sense yet. That's okay. I will explain it more. So here's some examples of some sgraffito and Mishima. So it's two different colors of clay. That's how we're going to do it. It can also be done with colored slip, but we don't have that. We have red clay and we have white clay in the art room. And so if you look at this picture here, yeah, that's kind of what you'll be doing, because you'll have the regular gray clay, which turns white, and you'll actually be putting red slip over it. No, actually, scratch that. You can do it that way. I'll be fine with that. But normally we do a red clay tile, and we put the gray slip over it, which would be the white. But I'm open to it either way, actually. So you can think about what you want yours to turn out like. But so look at this. This would be like, what did they scratch out? I think they scratched out the white. So it's like they had a regular white tile, and they put this blue glaze probably over it, or a blue slip, and then scratched through that blue slip to reveal the white clay, so you get this really interesting pattern. That's what sgraffito is. And you'll be making a tile also. So you want to pick a shape, okay? So about 6 to 7 inches wide. Okay, so I do want you to do this today. Hopefully you have access to a printer. If not, you can draw your shape. Okay, so you can find a shape or create one on the computer and print it, or you can just draw the shape, the outline of what you want it to be. This example here is really simple, but in the past I've done like the shape of Minnesota. People have done stars or flowers or a boot or, anything. The shape can be anything. So pick what you want, about 6 to 7 inches wide, and you print it out, okay? Obviously we're not kneading the clay, but this will be the process. You'll knead the clay, you'll roll out the clay on canvas using dowels so they can make a slab. Then you place the shape over the slab and drag around the outside, so you'll get like that shape put into the clay. Then you'll cut out the shape with a needle tool from your clay and kind of smooth the edges. And then you'll cover with 3 coats of gray slip using a wide brush, and it'll set up for 1 hour. So it's a red clay body, and then it'll be covered with the gray slip. Okay, so we're gonna skip to this part today. You're not waiting for your slip to set up yet, but you can draw your design, okay? So that's what you're gonna work on today. Draw your design, get your shape ready, and draw the design on there that you're going to want to carve into your tile. So remember, if you do a red tile and put the white slip over it, what you carve out will be red. And what you don't will stay white, okay? And then we'll have a kind of a fun little method of putting that design from your paper into your clay. I used to use dots. I'll show you another way too, which is just kind of pressing. You don't necessarily need to do the dots, but either way, you get that design transferred, and then you carve it out, sometimes with a pin or a needle tool, or we have these little sculpting tools that work really well also. So here's an example of what it looks like when it's still wet. And then you'll remove the clay boogers, kind of that junk that gets in there. And yeah, then we fire them. They look really cool. We add clear glaze to them, and they're shiny. But you don't have to add clear glaze either. But some ideas, you could look up Zentangles. Those are really cool for patterns and ideas like that. These are some examples of some Zentangles. So you could come up with your shape and then fill it with a bunch of different patterns in different areas. I really like a focus on pattern with this project. So I don't want you to just like write a word on there. I don't want you to just copy someone else's design that's already complete. Pick a shape, you design the inside. that's on you, okay? You can be inspired and look at some of these ideas, but I want you to ultimately come up with it. So this incorporates pattern and like a story, you know, with these figures. That's cool. So think about how can you do it? How can you be unique and creative? You can certainly use images for it, but create some sort of pattern with it as you go. Okay, so think complex. You know, you want to challenge yourself with your patterns, but you also don't want to be crazy detail. But pretty much you can be pretty precise with this, especially carving with a needle tool. So be creative, have fun, put lots of pattern, lots of interesting detail, and see what you can come up with. Let me know if you have any questions today.